Hello guys and welcome to the 5th episode of my Devlog series. If you haven't watched the other episodes, then what the f are you doing here? You should totally go ahead and check them out. But anyway, I've been making a top-down RPG about a Persian legend called Arash the Archer. And this is where we left off on the previous episode. We have a player, we can move around, we have an inventory and we can collect items. We can equip armor and we can craft ammunition and potions. And by potions, I mean just a health potion. We also have an enemy which is a little dumb at the moment, but in this episode, we're gonna fix him. If you have paid attention and you've also watched the other episodes, which by the way, if you haven't, you should totally go and check them out. The player's arms don't have any animations and it seems like Harry Potter is shooting those arrows. So I made some animations for every piece of armor individually. And by every piece, I mean just the two armors that I've made. And now, unlike before, we can wear the bow and the guntles that we've picked up. Then I put the animations inside of Unity, did some coding, and now we can draw our bow. And the animation length is also dynamic depending on how long it takes your bow to charge. So far, when we equip our bow, our damage modifier changes, but we still deal the same amount of damage to the enemies. So I quickly fixed that, and now we can get into the painful part, the enemy AI. So far, when our enemies get near us in a group, they just instantly attack the player, which is pretty dumb and also not so engaging. What I want them to do is to maneuver around the player a little bit, and if the player isn't overwhelmed by enemies, I want only 1 or 2 enemies to attack at once. But the problem is, I made this enemy AI entirely by stealing somebody else's code. I mean, follow along with this tutorial. And now I have a shit ton of scripts that I really don't know what they do, but I gotta make this enemy AI work one way or another. So I opened up one of the scripts, made some changes and wrote some fresh code, and now he is not working. But after some bug fixing, our enemy realizes he just doesn't get paid enough for this.
Say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Okay, this time it should work. Oh, what the fuck? Why the fuck will you just fucking make you lift this piece of shit? Just fucking do! Okay, here we are in a brand new project. I'm gonna make a brand new AI. So, here we have a bunch of squares, which the red boy is the enemy and the other one is the player. The enemy has a detection range, which if we get into it, the enemy will detect us. But once we get out of range, well, I haven't wrote that logic yet. Then I made the enemy look at you and also follow you.
Leave me alone!
The next step was to make the enemy only detect you when you're in his sight.
It is fixed now, BTW.
And by the way, now our enemy can also follow the last place you were seen, instead of just getting drunk. And then I made his context steering behavior work. Or not. And then I made his context steering behavior work. And now we get into the main thing. I want the enemy to rotate and maneuver around the player, instead of just blindly attacking him. So I made him do that and ooh, you are uncomfortably close to me, boy. So I fixed him up a little and now the enemy AI works like a charm. Fuck, dude. So I implemented the code inside of Unity and after some bug fixing, it works fine. Now I wanted to try this with 2 enemies at once to see what would happen. And one of them seems to have had a lot of milk last night. You know what's so boring about the enemy? He only has 1 attack. And he's also awkwardly silent and he doesn't have a good AI and he's suffering from brain damage. So I made 2 new attack animations for him inside of Photoshop and implemented them in the game. And oh boy, the fire attack is OP as fuck. Okay, the only thing remaining is to make a stamina system for the enemy, so he just doesn't spam attack as much as he wants. I also made him avoid close encounters when he's low on health. So he gets away from you like a little pussy and does his fire attack every once in a while. Except if you get too close to him, of course. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this episode. If you've made it this far and haven't liked the video yet, then you're a fucking psychopath. And if you want more cursed content like this, make sure to subscribe. Now,
Get out of here.